come stand next to me, big guy.
Sitting next to you.
Come stand next to me. You ready? You look good?
Do I look good? I don't know. I can't see myself.
I think I got us both in here. Yeah, we should. I wish I could turn the screen. Alright. You see us both in there? We're both in there. I'm not taller than you are. I'm here, of course, with this big guy. Say hello, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
Yeah, let me do that again. Hold on.
Ooh, chilly. Freeze.
Ready? I'm not doing the whole thing, so.
Hi.
Where I'm assuming they probably farmed at one point, yeah?
Definitely. Definitely a little homestead.
Yeah. We're gonna put the camera away now. We're gonna grab our shovel and our detector, and we'll see you guys at the first target. Okay, well, we thought we were gonna have to walk 100 yards or so up this old trail that is adjacent to the field that you first saw us in the intro, to the old home site, but we didn't have to walk very far. So right over there is the back edge of the field, and as you can already see, a lot of stonework right in here. We were following this trail here, and right off the bat, and who knows, this might have been one we just missed on the map, I'm not sure. But look at this old beauty. This is one big cellar hole. It goes up there, stops, squares off back here, down this way, and I'm assuming that was the old center chimney mast right there. I don't see any bricks, but doesn't mean that they're not in there. And we have fairly easy swinging now that the foliage is dying out. And we still have that trail to walk and what I believe is another home site up there. I could be mistaken. This might be the only one, but we are going to get the detectors on the ground and we're going to figure out what was going on here so many years ago. So I was just telling Jim, as he's, I guess, not going after that target, I will show you guys the first find in every video, or at least try to, no matter what it is. And unfortunately, it's just trash this time. You'll find trash quite often around these old cellar holes, especially along trails. Snowmobilers, people on four-wheelers, ATVs, things like that. They often stop at places like this. It's just an open spot. It's neat to investigate, and over the years, you know, they have their beverages and unfortunately toss out their lids or pull tops or whatever it is. So if you're going to be searching these old cellar holes, especially along the trails, definitely expect to find things like this. So not treasure, not history, but it's out of the ground, it's going in the pocket, it's going home with me and into the trash. And let's get on to the next hole and see if possibly we can pull out some history. Somewhere in that thick stuff, Jim lurks. I can hear him walking around, I just can't see him, but he's really working that section of the back end of the cellar hole. And I decided to come out this way because we do have permission for that piece of land out there, which I don't think we'll get to today, but we're in an area that's divided by stone walls. And being in the back of a home site, I always wander out, and when I do, typically I'll find either a water source or a well, things like this. In this case, I think I found their old water source. Looks like an old stream bed. Well, in fact, I know it's an old stream bed just by the way it is. However, New England's going through quite a drought right now, and obviously there's no water running down the hill. Now, as I get into spots like this, I like to look for clues. Oftentimes everything is worn right down to the rock, and whatever might be, you know, left in the ground washes out, sits right on top, and is waiting for me to come along and find it. Case in point, I have this old cork top bottle, piece of glass. Now, I'm not an expert in glass, I'm not an expert in bottles. That's why I always go to Jim about it. But what I do know is that when you get into clues like that and you follow them, perhaps there's an old bottle dump or some kind of dump site up there from long ago. Time will tell, and we'll work our way up that way and see what we get into. Okay, so my suspicions were right. I did find a dump. And I do know why I got confused thinking that that cellar hole was a lot further away than what I had originally said. Because where I'm at, this right here is a stone wall, and right over there is a stone wall, and it leads that way, and the cellar hole is that way. So that's probably why I'm all messed up and whatever. I was just looking at the map wrong. And the road that we're currently on is obviously a road that's in use today. This road is no longer, and the map that I was going on, I guess it happens, but I found this. So right along the stone wall, the creek pooled up there at one point, and that's where it was running, but it was pulling stuff from here. And there we go. It's a dump site. Old soda bottles. I mean, I don't know how old, or even if this belonged to those that once occupied this house. Some shoe leather. It's always under rocks too. I think Jim said they did that on purpose. Oh, here's something that's embossed. First Nation stores, Boston. Perhaps that was, I don't know, maybe that was a milk bottle. I'm gonna have to get Jim over here and he'll be able to rummage through, but there's an old piece of a shoe or a boot, and there's just stuff everywhere. Glass. I would love to be able to get this stuff out of here, bring it home, but I mean, there's just so much of it, there's really nothing we're gonna be able to do. You come back with a truck and load it up perhaps, but is that probably part of an old door, maybe to a car? But yeah, it's just riddled all through here under the stone wall, and it goes that way. I see some rusty stuff here, some cans, some stuff leaning up against a tree. But when we find old places like this, we definitely like to explore, because you never know what you might find. And I know Jim likes those old bottles. I like those old bottles too, but not as much as he does. I'm gonna let you look around, but here. That's what I found in the stream bed.
In the what?
In the stream bed down there. It's all dried up.
Oh, nice.
That's cork top, right?
Oh, yeah.
What?
1880s or 90s at least.
Yeah, there was a bunch of broken pieces down through the stream bed, and I was just showing everybody what it looked like right here. Figured I'd let you poke around in here a little bit and see what you can
I'm going to
determine.
turn my detector off for a minute.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
I found so many lids and tops of mason
It's all
jars.
coming from right here, Jim. Look at it all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a natural break right there that goes that section too. So
there's a well over there.
Yep. Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I found the one to this cellar hole, but it's capped. It's got a cement slab over it.
No kidding.
Where you found that top is the oldest.
That was
by far
down behind there, but it was along the creek. It was on the bottom of where it's all old and dry.
Yeah, that's
So-
hundreds of years old. They like dumping in the rivers because they figured it would wash away.
They didn't have recycle centers and trash bits and all that other stuff around back in the day. They found their own pits and they buried stuff. I mean, that's what they had to do. And here we are, however many years later, sometimes a couple hundred years later, finding this stuff. All right, I guess we're getting back to our detectors, and we'll see what else this area has, if anything at all. Right now, we haven't been finding much, so we might end up working our way back out to the field, which is right through those trees. We're heading that way. I'm actually ahead of Jim. He's back there working the stone wall out. I know I've said this time and time again. This is why you need to be careful anywhere, especially on these old trails. A lot of people walk and run. That right there, it'll definitely ruin your day if you step in something like that. It's not really deep, but as you can tell, you just come up over this hill real quick, or maybe not paying attention, and boop. We're all over the place on this video, I get it. Some people like just to watch to see what we find. Others like to see the story and just tag along for the adventure. This is authentic metal detecting. This is what you're gonna go through in order to find those relics, lost coins, and learn about the history of the land. And a good case in point of that, there's a structure right here that I had absolutely no idea it existed. I didn't see it on the map, but I'm assuming perhaps it was a barn site just by the way it's all set up, and I'll explain that in a second. It almost looks like stalls, maybe some horse stalls. There's a couple there, there's one over there, outlined by stone walls, and right where I'm standing here, I would assume may have been some kind of a shed, maybe a little barn site where they kept their equipment. And I'm guessing so because I believe that right there was the threshold stone. You know, they walked up here. It almost looks like there may have been steps. I could be wrong. It could have been right there leading up. See how it's squared off right here? Just this little section. There's definitely a lot going on in here, and that is a huge indication to determine whether or not a place that is open like that may hold some good relics and history. So I'm done in the woods right now. We didn't find a whole lot, like I said. I'm gonna get back out there and we'll see you at the next target. We have been struggling, to say the least. The field that I told you guys we were going to be at, it's across the street. We didn't find anything. Nails, pull tabs, bits and pieces of aluminum foil. It's just, there's nothing there. And the ground is absolutely dry from this drought we have going on. It's just like digging through concrete and sand. I mean, it's next to impossible. So I've decided to come across the roadway here into this section. Again, this permission is just absolutely enormous, and we have a lot to choose from. Coming down, I followed this stone wall which intersects the other field there, and I finally got something good to show you. We have been working very hard for that thing. I don't know what it is yet, and look at, I mean, this ground is, I've never seen it like this. It looks like, I mean, it's a copper for sure. It was reading high, so I'm assuming it's a US something or other. Let me get a toothpick to this. I'm going to do some field cleaning, and we'll see if I can get an ID on this coin for you. But finally, this is what we're after, this and any kind of relic from the past. This is definitely one of them. So I am able to get a positive ID on this coin. It's a drape bust large cent, and at the top, you can see how it says Liberty, and you have the bust, of course, followed by the date at the bottom. But as you can tell on the bottom of my coin, that's pretty rough. As it's drying up, I can see that I might be able to flake that off, so it possibly is a good looking coin underneath all of that, but I'm not certain. On the back side, it would have a wreath around the edge, United States of America, and in the center there it would say 1 cent. These were minted between 1796 and 1807. And it has been sitting in this field in the ground for who knows how long, but we come along with the detectors and look for the stuff and save it from the ground. So I know this video has been all over the place. I'm going to keep it as real as I can, like I said earlier. You know, the videos and stuff you see on YouTube and Facebook and everything else where people are finding coin after coin, button after button, relic after relic. It does happen, but not very often in these areas. So to keep with, I guess, the flow of today's video, in between some of the things we might find and might not, I wanted to show you a little bit of what to look for when you're out here in these big fields. At least these are things that I look for. I've done a lot of research, a lot of reading up on stone walls, how they were placed, what they were used for, things like that. And I'm not just guessing when I say that these fields were used for, you know, growing crops, corn, potatoes, tobacco, whatever they were used for back then, I don't know. But I do know that they were farmed. How I know that these fields were used specifically for that kind of stuff is this. You see these rock piles? There's one right underneath here. It's all scattered through here. There's a bunch right here. And then there's a huge pile right there and all down through here. And it leads to a stone wall. This is not the remnants of a home, a barn, or anything like that. This is all field stone. Usually the younger of the family, the kids, 6, 7, 8, 10, they would come out, follow the plows around, and their job was to gather up all the stone from the fields and put it somewhere for either later use or at least to get rid of it from, you know, next year's plowing season so they wouldn't break and damage any equipment. Right up here is definitely the main pile for what was going on here. That's a lot of work right there. I mean, these rocks aren't anything enormous. Majority of them are about that big. You do have some bigger ones, but I mean, that's all they did. They went through, collected it all, piled it somewhere, usually off the edge of the field, and you know, they would find a use for it later on, whether it be boundary fences, you know, not necessarily stone walls, maybe they'd fill in the gaps, and you know, houses that didn't have a foundation, they would layer underneath. They'd put the big rocks on the outside and then they'd fill it in with this to prevent, you know, your vegetation from growing through the floorboards. This is the real deal when you're out here digging and searching for history, things that have been lost along the way. It's not going to be easy. It never is. It can get very frustrating, but you have to have patience. If you have patience and you keep at it, you will find things like, you know, that coin I just found. Take your time to appreciate what was left behind. Life back then was not easy. It's certainly not easy now, but back then the struggle was incredibly tough. But somehow a lot of families managed through it. The winters, you know, the sickness, figuring out how to grow food, where to find food, and just roughly how to survive the land that they were on. Well, I decided to join Jim over here. I wasn't finding much in that other field. He's, let's see, right over in there somewhere. Can't really tell on camera, but I'm working this side because he's been finding stuff on that edge. I decided to come over here. I had a very, very, very deep choppy tone, and I almost gave up on it, but I'm glad I didn't, because right out of there, I just popped me a crotal bell. Now these are very fancy, very old, and you know, they'd be different sizes, of course. This is a small one. I think they get all the way up to the size of a softball, believe it or not. A very cool find, a very New England type find, and one that's going to join the collection at home. I wanted to come down and see Jim, so I was just kind of making a loop to him, and he's been digging some holes over there, so we'll check in with him in a minute. But right here is a beautiful, crisp, deep tone. So I'm going to try to set the camera up and do a live dig on here, because that's what the large scent read up on the other side. So I haven't had a tone like this since being over this side, and it's solid all the way around. So let me set the camera up and we're going to go in right there. Poor Jim says, don't do this to me. I hate to say it, but I hope it's something like an old coin. I'll get out of the shadow here. I'm going to dig wide. I'm going to flip it up that way. This ground is just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible ground. And I think you guys can still see. Let me just check real quick. Okay, just want to make sure you guys can see. I mean, look how terribly dry that is, but I'll swing back over it. It's still holding its true tone, which is good. And hey, it's silver. It's big silver. I swear to God. It's silver. And I really hope I didn't hit it with a shovel. Right there. I guess Jim's not going to come over, so we'll go in together. I think it's just a quarter. Yeah, it's just a silver quarter. It's all right though, it's silver. And not silver by much. 1963. The last silver quarter I found, it was a spill with a dime. There you go, silver quarter. Not very old, 1963, but silver up until 1964. So I barely made it. Hold your hand up. You want to see it?
Sure.
Sorry to do it to you. It's not very old. As soon as I saw the silver, though, I was like, ooh, that's going to be a good one. I was thinking maybe my barber quarter.
It is silver.
I told you it was silver.
That over there?
Yeah, 1963.
You're welcome.
What do you mean I'm welcome?
You're welcome.
Why, you didn't go over this through here?
No,
Why not?
because I haven't got there yet. I've been all the way down through here.
I was coming down to show you what else I have.
Oh, let's see.
Well, let's see what you've got first.
It's going to take me a minute.
Why? What do you got in there? I've been digging a lot of trash, some relics. Oh,
It's full of dirt still.
yeah.
First one this year.
It's a nice croto bell. You know what's crazy?
What? You just got one too? No way.
Is it the same size? They are the same size. No, yours is slightly larger, I guess.
It's got the early design on the bottom.
Yeah, so doesn't mine. See the horseshoe pattern?
Oh yeah. And I found lots of these horse leather with all these buttons on them.
Oh, really?
All pieces of the saddle.
Oh, like the rivets and stuff? Oh, yeah.
I found a ton of these. They rang up like nickels.
Well, that would explain why we're finding the crotobells. They were attached to that at
And
one
the
point.
saddles.
Yep.
I think they threw the whole thing down here. I don't know.
Well, they definitely worked the fields. I showed everybody on the other side, there's piles of, I think I told you the fieldstone where they piled them all up. So
Yeah.
they're definitely out here working these fields.
The stone wall ends here.
Yeah.
And there's no corner. It just
stops.
stops.
Yeah, which is
Right
strange.
here where that blue line is, right there is a pathway.
Yep. I mean, we have quite a bit of land to search, and I mean, we're only searching on these metal detectors. We're only searching, an inch at a time, really.
11 inches.
Yeah. Well, yeah, down and out, but I mean, that's a lot of ground to be covering with a coil like that. I just say inches at a time, slow and steady win the race. How about that, Jim?
Sure.
It's faint, but it's high, Jim. It's deep. It's whatever it is deep. That's what I'm assuming, just with how it's not really a great tone. If you're not going to dig it, I'll dig it all day.
I'll dig it.
But I feel bad for getting your silver. I was just coming down to say hi to you, show you that crotal bell. I didn't mean to sneak that out from underneath your feet. I've never seen it like this, Jim.
No, it's definitely a weird year. Oh man, rocks.
Oh, it's out.
Oh, oh,
Oh no, what is that? What the heck is that?
piece of lead.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's fun for a minute.
I was hoping it'd be something better than that. At least a button.
I could barely hear the target at first. I thought it was going to be a 31, 32, like you said.
It's old. I mean,
lead.
it's old.
Definitely old.
So that is officially going to do it for us here today on this adventure here in New England. It wasn't the greatest of hunts, but it was a hunt. It was a good metal detecting trip, and it taught us a lot about the land that we're on. We will be back at it again at some point here in the future, maybe on this permission. Well, probably on this permission at some point, just a different area. I do have other permissions across the river in Vermont. You guys will see us back out again digging and looking for the history that has been lost here in New England. I wish you all the best on your next adventure, and until next time, happy hunting.